All right, let's get right into it. We're about to decode one of the biggest mysteries of the internet. And believe it or not, the key is probably curled up at your feet right now. Yeah, I know it's a weird question, but honestly, the answer connects the really deep, ancient instincts of our dogs to the split-second decisions we make on our phones every single day. And it all kicks off with something super simple and kind of adorable. Let's talk about the canine curiosity gap and how a dog's head tilt basically became the blueprint for grabbing attention online. Okay, so this slide just lays it out perfectly. On one side, you've got the classic dog head tilt. We all think it's just them being cute, right? But it's actually way more sophisticated. See, their own snout can block their view of our mouths, so they tilt their head to get a crystal clear look at our facial expressions. They're trying to read our emotions. Now look at the other side, the digital pattern interrupt. This does the exact same thing to our brains. When you're mindlessly scrolling on your phone, that zombie scroll we all do, a really good hook snaps you out of it. It jolts your brain out of autopilot and forces you to stop and pay attention. And that brings us straight to the scroll stopper. Because in the world of social media, attention is the only currency that matters, and the entire battle is won or lost in a matter of seconds. 1 to 3 seconds. Seriously, that's it. That is the entire window of opportunity you have to convince someone's brain not to just swipe away. It's an absolutely ruthless split-second decision. If you don't create that head tilt moment, that pattern interrupt, they're gone. And you can see the stakes right here. The data shows that the most successful viral videos keep somewhere between 70 and 90% of their viewers from swiping away. That is an insane retention rate. And it's earned almost entirely in those first few seconds. It's the hook that signals to the algorithm, hey, people like this. And that's what gets it pushed out to millions more. So, how do you actually do it? Well, one of the most powerful techniques out there is called the authority pattern. It's basically designed to create a massive curiosity gap by making a super specific, data-backed promise that just makes you have to know more. Just look at this example. It is a masterclass in specifics. It doesn't just say, I'll teach you to train your dog. No way. It promises a transformation from hyperactive rescue to calm companion. It gives you a specific time frame, 3 weeks, and it backs it up with a hard number, reduced jumping by 90%. You can't help but think, okay, how did they do that? And boom, that's the curiosity gap in action. But this whole connection, it goes way deeper than just psychology. It's not just about grabbing attention, it's about forming a real bond. And there's a wild biological secret to the bond between you and your dog that literally no other species on Earth shares with us. It's called the mutual gaze loop. Get this, when you and your dog just gently look into each other's eyes, something incredible happens inside your brains. A 2015 study found that oxytocin, the love hormone, starts to rise in both of you at the same time. It's like a neurochemical mirror, a powerful feedback loop that reinforces your bond on a deep biological level. And here's the absolute mind-blowing part. Researchers tried to replicate this with wolves that were raised by humans from birth, and nothing. The loop didn't happen. This is a unique trait that dogs and humans actually evolved together. That mutual gaze is the ultimate biological hook. It's an engagement tool that's been hardwired into our two species for thousands and thousands of years. Okay, so understanding that deep emotional bond is absolutely critical because it completely unlocks the psychology of why we buy stuff for our pets. And it reveals this weird paradox that's at the heart of the entire pet industry. And here it is, the key insight. Pet owners aren't really buying dog food or cat toys. They're buying an identity. They're buying solutions for their own emotions, like the guilt you feel for leaving them alone all day. They're buying things that reinforce their self-image as a good pet parent. And this slide just shows exactly why the old way of marketing just doesn't work. On the left, you have these vague, empty claims like, we use high-quality ingredients. I mean, what does that even mean? It's meaningless. But now, look at the right. The marketing connects the feature to an emotional value. We source salmon from human-grade fisheries because your dog deserves the same quality you serve your family. See, that speaks directly to that good pet parent identity. It just hits different. So what's the big takeaway from all this? Well, it turns out our dogs are constantly teaching us about the absolute fundamentals of connection and attention. We just have to know what we're looking for. So let's just recap the big lessons here. A dog's head tilt? That's a biological pattern interrupt designed purely to get more information. That mutual gaze? It's a neurochemical hook that builds a bond that's almost impossible to break. And heck, even a dog circling before they go to the bathroom. That's a search for safety in a vulnerable moment, which is a lot like us scrolling through a feed subconsciously looking for content that feels safe and valuable. The lesson is so clear.
The best communication, whether it's with an animal or a person, has to connect with our core emotional needs.
So I'll just leave you with this one final thought. The exact same biological and psychological triggers that define the relationship you have with your dog are being used every single day to shape and direct your attention online. So the next time you find yourself stuck on a video, unable to scroll away, just ask yourself, who is really training whom?